Somvanshi people, these Somvanshi people, they were die-hard follower of Hinduism, but they have shown their tolerance towards Jainism and Buddhism, and that is the reason numerous of Jainism and Buddhism architecture has also flourished in this time frame. They patronage Brahmin scholars, temples, and rituals, fostering a golden age of Sanskrit literature. Now, and religious practice in the region. So now you have to remember this question might come in your exam. Ki which dynasty period is considered the golden age of Sanskrit literature in Chhattisgarh? So its answer should be Somvanshi dynasty, right? They promoted Shaivism and Vaishnavism sect. They become dominant faith in Chhattisgarh during their region. So they have ensured the promotion of Shaiv and Vaishnav religion. Yesterday we have discussed in yesterday's class, you people will be remembered that Hinduism has divided into two parts, Shaiv and Vaishnav. And both of these Shaiv and Vaishnav were duly flourished during the time period of Somvanshi. Now, coming to Somvanshi's left a profound impact on the region's architectural heritage. Their construction projects were not only functional but also deeply symbolic to their religious devotion and political power. Since these people were Hindus, so these people have constructed various Hindu temples in Chhattisgarh region, right? Their notable instruments and the notable architectural development includes stone temple with intricate carving. So what they did, they took a large size block. Yesterday we have discussed that Pandu Vanshis have introduced the brick pattern to construct a temple. But these people switched on stones. They have took large size blocks of stone, cut them, and done numerous of stone carvings over those stone, intricate stone carving, and that intricate stone carving was depicting the story of Ramayana, Mahabharata, and other political and social cultural literature of that time frame. Now, massive gates and fortification for securities. Now, these temples started working as a bank. Earlier, there were no common banks like today we are having. So people usually keep their gold, silver within the premises of bank, ensuring that no one is gonna cheat that particular temple because that was considered as a sin. But Somvanshis were aware that if a foreign invader comes and attacks on those temples, he can easily collect the money from that temple. So what they did, they started fortification of those temples for security purpose. They constructed large size gates, and these gates were very much fortified and strong to protect the valuable security kept inside the temple. Now, step wells and reservoirs for water management. They have constructed small and large size reservoirs and step wells. Step wells को हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं बाबरी. You people would have heard it. Agrasen ki Babri. Babri means that the well which is having stairs to get down into that well. And these reservoirs and step wells were used to take bath before entering into the temple. Because temple is considered a religious place. So you should be physically and mentally pious. And to get physical piousness, you have to take a bath. Right? So they constructed those in the temples. They have also constructed those step wells and reservoirs. Now, proceeding next, talking about prominent monuments of Somvanshis. First one is, that is very important, Bhoramdev Temple. Bhoramdev Temple is known as Khajuraho of Chhattisgarh, right? You know that Khajuraho Temple is famous for its intricate stone carving. The same kind of stone carving is found over Bhoramdev Temple in Kabir Dham district of Chhattisgarh. It is often referred as Khajuraho of Chhattisgarh. It is Lord Shiva temple. So Bhoramdev, Bhora, Bhora means Bhola, Bhola. भगवान शिव को बोलते हैं ना भोला, भोरा. So Bhola temple, Bhoramdev temple was dedicated to Lord Shiva, and it is a masterpiece of Somvanshi architecture. It features intricate sculpture depicting various deities, mythical stories, and aspects of human life. Next is Rajim Temple. Rajim Temple is constructed in the Rajim district of Chhattisgarh. This temple was dedicated to Lord Vishnu, and it is often referred as Prayagraj of Chhattisgarh. So, Khajuraho of Chhattisgarh is Bhoramdev Temple. Prayagraj of Chhattisgarh is Rajim Dev Temple, right? Rajim is often referred as Prayagraj of Chhattisgarh, highlighting its importance as a religious hub. Now, remember, you have to understand that as of now, this year, Mahakumbh is there in Chhattisgarh. Mahakumbh is there in Prayagraj, sorry. Now, due to this thing, this question automatically becomes important, that which area is known as Prayagraj of Chhattisgarh, right? Due to Kumbh this year in Prayagraj, they might ask which area of Chhattisgarh is known as Prayagraj of Chhattisgarh. So you have to know that it is Rajim area. Now, next is
So, where are the location of this Rajim temple and?
now Puramdev temple is in Kabirdham district of Chhattisgarh, and Rajin temple is nearby Durg in Chhattisgarh,
Okay.
right? Now, proceeding next. Next is Mandir Hasod temple. The another fantastic Somvanshi craftsmanship is depicted in Mandir Hasod temple. This temple showcases their mastery in stonework and spiritual dedication. Now, if we have to understand about the religious fair and festivals, so the Somvanshi institutionalized the religious festivals such as Rajan Kumbh, which has become the key event in promoting spiritual unity and tourism. So Rajan Kumbh also organized a Kumbh. That's not among those four Mahakumbh, right? Which takes place in Ujjain, Prayagraj, Nasik, and fourth one is Haridwar. So that is not the conventional Kumbh, but that is Kumbh of Chhattisgarh, which takes place in Rajan. Now, these festivals attracted pilgrims and scholars across India, boosting the cultural exchange. Now, if we will talk about the promoting of literature and art, these dynasties supported Sanskrit scholars and temple poets, ensuring the development of classical literature, and that is the reason Somvanshi's period is known as golden period of Sanskrit language in Chhattisgarh. The temple art flourished under the Somvanshis with carving reflecting themes from Hindu epics, nature, and daily life. Now, legacy of Somvanshi dynasty. Let's understand the legacy of Somvanshi dynasty. The contribution of Somvanshi dynasty to Chhattisgarh's stability, religious identity, and agricultural heritage remain unparalleled because they have done a significant contribution in the development of Chhattisgarh, stability, religious identity, and agricultural heritage, as well as they made an effort to combine tribal people with non-tribal people by organizing various fests and fairs. The dynasty not only unified and strengthened the regional politics but also laid a cultural foundation that denotes in modern Chhattisgarh. Their religious tolerance and architectural innovation stand as a testament of their progressive vision. Today, the remnants of their temple, festival, and governance system continue to draw historian, archaeologists, and tourists alike, preserving Somvanshi legacy for future generations. Next dynasty is Kalchuri dynasty of Chhattisgarh. After Somvanshis, the next dynasty which ruled over Chhattisgarh was Kalchuri dynasty. But before that, tell me whether Somvanshi dynasty is clear to all of you, yes or no?
Sir,
Let me know in the comment section.
sir, you were telling about this all the line wise that if you can repeat the Somanshi,
What?
who came first and then
Okay, okay, okay. Sure. So what I will do? सबसे पहले दक्षिण कौशला, Ikshvakus,
Okay.
right? Now, after Dakshin Kosala, Ikshvakus, next is Tarabpurya, Tarapurya dynasty. Tarapurya dynasty के बाद next was Panduvanshi. Panduvanshi is followed by Chandravanshi. Chandravanshi is followed by Somvanshi. Somvanshi followed by Kalchuri dynasty. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Perfect. So now we are going to talk about Kalchuri. Now, Kalchuri dynasty is a prominent force in central India. Remember, this Kalchuri dynasty prevailed not only in the area of Chhattisgarh but also in the area of Madhya Pradesh. This Kalchuri dynasty ruled over Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh both. During the medieval period, left at an indelible mark on the region that is now Chhattisgarh. Ruling from 10th century to 18th century, this dynasty played a pivotal role in shaping political landscape, cultural heritage of the area. This article delves into the political dominance, territorial expansion, and cultural achievement of Kalchuris in Chhattisgarh. Now, we are going to understand about Kalchuri's influence in Chhattisgarh, not in Madhya Pradesh, because we have to understand from the perspective of Chhattisgarh Public Service Commission. Now, political dominance and territorial expansion. The Kalchuris of Ratnapura, also known as Hayats of Ratnapur, emerged as a powerful branch, the larger Kalchuri dynasty that held sway over vast portion of central India. Initially, they were vassals of Kalchuris of Tripuri. Now, Tripuri is an area near Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh. Right? But and this Kalchuri dynasty emerged from the Tripuri area nearby Jabalpur from Madhya Pradesh. But gradually, they asserted their independence and established a formidable kingdom and their capital as Ratnapura, the modern Ratanpur in Bilaspur district of Chhattisgarh. So earlier, they were the part of Kalchuri dynasty of Tripuri, which was getting governed by Jabalpur. But later on, these people expanded and shift themselves towards the Ratanpur area in Bilaspur district of Chhattisgarh and made Ratanpur as their capital and got complete independence from the Kalchuris of Tripuri Jabalpur. Like they started from there, but then they got separated. The key rulers who have contributed into the ruling are as following. First, Prithvi Dev I. Just a second. Prithvi Dev I. He led the foundation as an independent cultural kingdom in Chhattisgarh. So Prithvi Dev I in 1065 BCE, 1065 CE means in 10th century, he got independent from the Tripuri of Kalchuri and he established his own Kalchuri kingdom in Chhattisgarh. Right? He credited with consolidation with kingdom's power and expanding its territory. Next was Jajal Deva I. Jajal Deva I further strengthened the kingdom and expanded its influence. His region marked a period of stability and prosperity. Next was Ratna Deva II. Ratna Deva II is known for its military conquest. He tried to win the area of Nasik in Maharashtra. So In his time period, this Kalchuri dynasty expanded from Chhattisgarh to Odisha and Maharashtra also. Next, Pratap Malla. Pratap Malla is a notable ruler who consolidated kingdoms, hold over the region, and contributed to the cultural development. The Kalchuris of Ratnapura controlled. Now remember, there are two Kalchuris. One is Kalchuris of Tripuri, which ruled over Madhya Pradesh. Second one is Kalchuris of Ratnapura, which ruled over Chhattisgarh. Their common descendant were Kalchuris only. Now, the Kalchuris of Ratnapura controlled a significant portion of present-day Chhattisgarh, including the area of Ratanpur, Raipur, Bilaspur, and Kavardha, Kavardha district of Chhattisgarh. Their dynasty's strategic alliance and military powers plays a crucial role in the territorial extension and political dominance. Now, let's talk about their cultural achievements. The Kalchuri period witnessed a flourishing of art, agriculture, and religious practice in Chhattisgarh. The rulers were great patrons of culture, and their region saw the construction of magnificent temples, the promotion of Sanskrit literature, and development of distinct regional artistic style. Now, talking about the key cultural distribution of Kalchuris. So, what all constructions these Kalchuri people have done? Kalchuris of Ratnapur, right? So, the first one is temple architecture. So these people constructed Mahamaya temple in Ratanpur in Bilaspur district, Kanti Deval temple in Kotgar in Durg district, Bhoram Dev temple in Kavardha. Now Bhoram Dev temple, they have done reconstruction. Earlier, the construction was done by Somanshi. They have done the reconstruction of Bhoramdev temple in Kavardha, right? While earlier Bhoramdev temple was established by Somanshis only. Now, these temples are characterized by their intricate carvings, elaborative sculpture, and unique architectural feature, showcasing a blend of Nagar and Dravidian style. So now they have submerged. Yesterday we have understood this was Nagar style and this was Dravidian style, right? And they have submerged these two styles and created the third style, that is blend of Nagar with Dravidian style. Sculpture. The Kalchuri period saw the creation of exquisite sculpture, many of which adorn the temple's building during their region. The sculpture depict various deities, mythological figures, and scenes from the epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata. So in this time period, we have seen numerous of figures from Ramayana and Mahabharata reflecting over the temples constructed by Kalchuris of Ratnapur. The intricate detail and artistic fitness of these sculptures reflect high level of craftsmanship achieved during this era. Apologies. So, talking about the literature. The Kalchuri ruler patronaged Sanskrit scholars and poets. Several important literary works were done during their region, including rewriting of religious texts, philosophical treatises, and poetic composition. Talking about the religious syncretism, the Kalchuris, though predominantly Shaivites, so they were following Shaivism rather than Vaishnavism, and also shown tolerance towards other religious sects like Vaishnavism and Jainism. This led to a harmonious coexistence of different religious practice and development of a syncretic culture in Chhattisgarh. The cultural achievement of Kalchuris enriched the heritage of Chhattisgarh and left a lasting impact on the region's artistic tradition. The temples, sculptures, and literary work from this period continue to inspire and fascinate people even today, serving a testament of dynasty's glorious past. Now, let's understand the religious development of Chhattisgarh. This is the complete new arena This is combining Chhattisgarh history, Chhattisgarh cultural development. It is not confined to cultures. Remember this thing. It is talking about Chhattisgarh as a whole. That how Chhattisgarh culture has emerged as a whole. So Chhattisgarh, a state in central India, has a rich and diverse religious history. In religious landscape has been shaped by a fascinating interplay of indigenous tribe beliefs and arrival of organized religions like Jainism, Buddhism, and Hinduism. The article delved into the religious development in Chhattisgarh, exploring the early tribal beliefs. What were the early tribal beliefs and how they shifted towards the major religion? Because the tribal people were not following Hinduism, Shaivites, or Vaishnavism, or Jainism, Buddhism, but they have switched on it. How they have switched on it, we are going to understand this in this particular class. Now, early tribal belief and practice. Early tribal, what kind of belief and practice these people had? So, before the advent of organized religions, the tribal community of Chhattisgarh practiced indigenous form of worshipping deeply connected with nature and ancestor venerance. So they were following a practice in which they were just following the nature. They were worshipping various forms of nature. Their belief and practices were continuing to influence the region's cultural fabric, which were characterized by first animism. What is animism? The belief that the spirits inhabit nature elements like tree, rock, water bodies. So these people used to consider tree, rock, water bodies as a living creatures. And they believe that these trees, rocks, water bodies have their soul. And their spirits were often propagated through the offerings and ritual to ensure good harvest, health, and promotion from harm and protection from harm. Sorry. Now you have to understand this. This belief of animism came in Hinduism also, where in Hinduism, Indra, we have understood this thing in the last to last class that Indra was the god of rain, right? Then Agni was the god of fire. Dyom was the god of sky. Varun was the god of water. So that's how these tribal people started get affection towards Hinduism. Because Hinduism was also worshipping various forms of nature in the name of God, and these people were also following more or less the same practice. Now, ancestor worship. Reverence for ancestors played a crucial role in tribal societies. Ancestors were believed to influence their living and their blessing were sought by various occasions. So these people used to worship their ancestors, forefathers. Next, totemism. Many tribes identified with a particular animal or plant as the totem. Totem means their specific distinctive identity. So, like a tribe, for example, a tribe reflected their identity from a animal called reindeer, right? You people would have heard this thing. I'll talk slightly off the topic to make you understandable this thing. Have you people heard of a famous, not famous, notorious goon, Lawrence Fishburne? Have you people heard of?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know that why he threatened Salman Khan? Why he sent a death threat to Salman Khan? Any idea?
Yes, sir, because he shot that animal which they prayed.
Yeah, exactly. Very good, Malvi. So these people used to worship black buck,
Yeah, black.
and Salman Khan allegedly shot that black buck, right? So now these people, that tribal community, went against. Lawrence Vishnu is from Punjab. But in the same way, Totemism is the practice where you associate your tribe or your culture with an individual tree or an individual animal. Like Hindus worship cow, right? That is worshipable animal for them. So that is Totemism for Hinduism. Now, next, talking about oral tradition. Religious knowledge and practices were transmitted orally through the myths, legends, and folk tales. preserving the cultural heritage of tribe. Since these people were not into writing much, so these people preserve their culture by Shruti and Smriti, which we have already followed during the Vedic period. Right? You remember it, Shruti and Smriti? So, in terms of urban legends, myths, folk tales, this is how they preserve their culture. They transferred the cultural stories, religious stories to their descendants in form of a story. Now, next is shamanism. Shamans or spiritual leader played a pivotal role in tribal community. They acted as intermediary between the nature and supernatural world, performing rituals, healing the sick, and guiding the community. So again, I'll go slight off the topic to make you understand what is shamanism. Have you heard this thing? Some of the people like in Hindus and Muslims, this is उनके ऊपर देवी माता आ जाती है, उनके ऊपर खाटू श्याम आ जाते हैं,
Yes.
बाबा की चौकी लगती है. So
Yes.
that is shamanism, right? So there is someone who is acting as a religious leader, and he states that I am the one who can connect this physical world with metaphysical world. Right? So I can connect virtual world with physical world. And that practice is called shamanism, and which is very much common among tribal people. In tribal people, there is an individual. He says कि भगवान देवता या उस ट्राइब के जो लीडर हैं वो उसके ऊपर आते हैं. उसके बाद he gives certain instructions कि like sacrifice a goat, do this, do that. यहाँ पे जाके ऐसा कर दो तो तुम्हारा काम हो जाएगा. Even though they are folk tales, right? And that has nothing to do with, that is actually placebo effect, right? That is actually placebo effect. Which means sometimes what happens, you relate yourself, your brain with a story कि मैं ऐसा करता हूं तो ऐसा हो जाता है. जैसे अगर मैं लेफ्ट साइड बैठता हूं तो मेरे मार्क्स अच्छे आते हैं, राइट साइड बैठता हूं तो मेरे मार्क्स कम आते हैं. तो दैट इज अ placebo effect. Your brain gives you the signal like this. So that is how the shamanism works. कि ये पानी पी लो, ये मंत्र पढ़ा हुआ पानी है, इसको आप कंज्यूम कर लोगे तो you will feel good. You will cure your disease, right? And scientists have discovered that this placebo effect is actually effective over cancer, depression, migraine, and so many other things. That's why it is said कि positive environment. So that shamanism was giving positive environment. Now, these early beliefs and practices laid foundation for religious landscape of Chhattisgarh, and their influence can be seen in the way people interact with nature and perceive the spiritual world. Now, spread of Jainism, Buddhism, and Hinduism over the area of Chhattisgarh. How Jainism, Buddhism, and Hinduism spread over the area of Chhattisgarh. Over the time, organized religions like Jainism, Buddhism, and Hinduism made their way into Chhattisgarh, interacting with and influencing the existing tribal belief. Jainism likely arrived in Chhattisgarh. Jainism likely arrived in Chhattisgarh during Mauryan period, 4th to 2nd century BCE. So 4th to 2nd century BCE, Jainism entered into Chhattisgarh. Emperor Ashoka's influence is evident in the presence of ancient Jain relics and inscription in the region. Jainism promoted non-violence, asceticism, and the pursuit of spiritual liberation, attracting followers from various social groups. Next time, Buddhism. Buddhism also flourished in Chhattisgarh during Mauryan period because Chandragupta Maurya adopted Jainism at the end days of his life and promoted Jainism, while Ashoka adopted Buddhism. So you can actually see that two influential leaders adopted two religions, and that's how the influence of that religion has started affecting the people of Chhattisgarh also. And post-Mauryan period, the archaeological evidence suggests the presence of Buddhism monasteries and stupas in this region. Buddhism emphasized on and compassion, meditation, and pursuit of enlightenment resonate with many people, including tribal communities. Tribal community people also used to believe in compassion, having love and faith towards nature, the feeling of enlightenment by the spiritual body. So this is how Buddhism also flourished in Chhattisgarh. But most importantly, Hinduism spread in Chhattisgarh. Right. How Hinduism spread in Chhattisgarh? Hinduism gradually gained its prominence in Chhattisgarh over centuries. The region witnessed the rise of various Hindu deities such as Sharapuriyas and Kalchuris, who were patronized temple construction and promoted Hindu tradition. Hinduism diverse pantheons of gods and its emphasis on dharma, that is, righteous conduct, and adaptability allowed it to assimilate and coexist with tribal belief and practice. So, this is how slowly and gradually the tribal practice started getting submerged over the practice or over the feeling of unity and integrity. Now, the spread of these religious constructions led to the construction of magnificent temples and monuments, showcasing the region's rich archaeological and artistic development. The Brahmadev temple, often referred as Khaturaho of Chhattisgarh, Bhoramdev temple is referred to Lord Shiva, right? Is referred as Khajuraho of Chhattisgarh is a testament that there was a lot of influence of Hinduism in this region. Similarly, the ancient Jain and Buddhist sites were scattered across Chhattisgarh, providing the glimpse into the early presence and impact of these regions. Now, does anyone has any doubt here? Yes or no? Please just let me know if anyone has any doubt.
Sir, what is the national animal of Chhattisgarh? Is it the wild buffalo?
It is wild buffalo. The
And
national animal of Chhattisgarh is wild buffalo. Wild bull. Sorry, wild buffalo, not wild bull.
okay, sir. Okay, and the national bird is the that Bastar bird. Is it the
हाँ
national,
हाँ
like
हाँ
the
हाँ
main bird of Chhattisgarh?
हाँ हाँ. The national
Bastar
bird of
Hill bird.
Chhattisgarh. Pardon?
The Bastar Hill,
Bastar Hill bird.
Bastar Hill Myna, if I'm not wrong.
हाँ हाँ Bastar Hill Myna, but in English it is called Bastar Hill bird.
Right. Okay, sir. Okay.
Now, shall we start with the question round now? You people are ready for the questions?
Yes, sir.
What was the primary religion patronized by Somvanshi rulers? Jainism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Zoroastrianism. What was the primary religion promoted by or patronized by Somvanshis? Somvanshis कौन सा religion follow कर रहे हैं?
Hinduism.
Hinduism, yes, good. Now, which temple is often referred as Khajuraho of Chhattisgarh? Lakshman Temple, Gandhareshwar Temple, Bhoramdev Temple, Mandir Hasod Temple.
Bhoramdev Temple.
Bhoramdev Temple, yes, very good. Tanvi, you are also correct. You stated C. Which dynasty ruled Chhattisgarh from 10th to 18th century? 10th to 18th century. Which dynasty ruled? Panduvanshi, Sarapuriya, Somvanshi, Kalchuris. It's
Kalchuri.
D. Kalchuri. Yes, very good. Sure, you are also correct. What was the capital of Kalchuri dynasty in Chhattisgarh? Kalchuri dynasty's capital was Raipur, Bilaspur, Ratanpur, Kavardha. Raipur, Bilaspur, Ratanpur, Kavardha.
Ratanpur. Ratanpur C.
Yes, Ratanpur. Very good. Malavi, Tanvi, you are correct. Which of the following is not the cultural contribution of Kalchuris? Which of the following is not a cultural contribution of Kalchuris? Construction of magnificent temples, patronage of Buddhist monasteries, development of distinct regional artistic style, promotion of Sanskrit literature. What these Kalchuris people haven't done.
Patronage of Buddhist monastery.
Yes, patronage of Buddhist monasteries because these people were following Hinduism,
Sir,
right?
you were telling about this golden Sanskrit age was during this Kalchuri's time.
No, no,
So,
it was not. It was during Somvanchi's time.
Somvanshi, sorry. So there was also different people who were called the golden age era. That was different, right, from this golden Sanskrit.
Now, Gupta's period is known as golden period of Indian history in total, while the golden period of Sanskrit in Chhattisgarh is Somanchi's period.
Okay, sir, got it.
Okay. What were the early tribal beliefs in Chhattisgarh primarily based on? Primarily, early tribal beliefs were based on which of the following? Monotheism, animism, Abrahamic religion, atheism. Yes? What should be the correct answer? Early tribal beliefs. It was monotheism, animism, Abrahamic religion, or atheism. Its answer is option B, Bangalore. That is animism. Right? Animism means I have given you the example of Lawrence Vishnoi, Blackburg, like associating your tribe with a particular kind of animal or particular kind of
Like some
tree.
movie Kantara, they associated with the pig.
Yup. Exactly. That can also be an
Movie
example.
Kantara.
Yup. What religion likely incurred in Chhattisgarh during Mauryan period? Which religion arrived in Chhattisgarh during Mauryan period? Hinduism, Christianity, Jainism, Islam.
Jainism.
Jainism. Very good. Shaurya, Malavi, Tanvi, all of you are correct. Now, which of the following is not a characteristic of early tribal practice in Chhattisgarh? Ancestor worship, remember, which of the following is not a characteristic? Not. Remember it.
B.
Ancestor worship, emphasize on written scriptures. Because these people used to, well, yes, its answer is B. Because these people used to convey it in form of folk tales. Right? Now, which dynasty strengthened the political structure and initiated cultural projects that reflected Gupta influence? Sarabdeva, Maharaj Narendra, Maharaja Pravar Raja, and Indrabal. Which dynasty strengthened the political structure and initiated cultural projects that reflected in Gupta influence? Yes. Forgot? It is a question from yesterday's class. It is not from today's class. That's why you people are getting confused. Its our answer is Sarabdev.
Okay.
Now, next question. Which dynasty implemented land grants to Brahmins and religious institutions, fostering agricultural development and social welfare? Which dynasty came up with the idea of giving land grants to Brahmins? It is also from yesterday's class. Kalchuri, Sarapuria, Panduvanshi, all of them.
Sarapuru.
Yes, it's Sarapuria. Yes, very good. Now, what was the primary focus of Somvanshi architecture? Somvanshi architecture का primary focus क्या था? Wood and bamboo construction, cave temples, stone temples with intricate carvings, mud and brick structure. Yes, see. Yes, see, you are correct, Tanvi. Malavi, you are also correct. Stone temples and intricate carvings. Now, which religious festival was institutionalized by Somvanshi ruler? Somvanshi ruler started which festival? Diwali, Holi, Rajam Kumbh, Ganesh Chaturthi. Yes.
Rajim Kum.
Yes, Rajam Kumbh. Yes, all of you are correct. Malavi, Shaurya, Tanvi, all of you are correct. Which of the following is considered masterpiece of Somvanshi architecture? सोमवंशी आर्किटेक्चर का मास्टरपीस कौन सा है? लक्ष्मणा टेम्पल, भोरमदेव टेम्पल, गंधारेश्वर टेम्पल, महाबोधि टेम्पल. Yes, abhi we have studied which temple is known as Khajuraho of Chhattisgarh. That is the same temple.
Puram Dev.
Yeah, Yes, Bhoramdev temple. Very good.
They
Which of the
reconstructed it.
yes?
They reconstructed it and
No,
not.
no, no. Somvanshis constructed it, while Kalchuris reconstructed it.
Okay, okay, sir.
Somvanshis were before Bhoramvanshi. The
Oh,
Somvanshis were before that. Oh, I forgot. Somvanshis were just before Kalchuri. Right?
okay.
Now, which of the following is not the characteristic of Kalchuri dynasty? Which of the following is not a characteristic of Kalchuri dynasty? Yes, they were patrons of art and architecture. They were primarily Buddhist in their religious belief. They ruled over a significant portion of present-day Chhattisgarh. They built magnificent temples such as Mahamaya Temple. Yes, Kalchuris were B. Very good, because they were Shaivites. They were following Shaivism. So they were not Buddhist in their belief. What is the significance of Mahamaya Temple in Ratanpur? Mahamaya Temple in Ratanpur. It is a Buddhist monastery. It is a Jain temple. It is a Hindu temple built by Kalchuris. It is a prehistoric archaeological site. Yes, its answer should be C, Calcutta. That is, it is a yes. It is a Hindu temple built by Kalchuri, right? So that is it for the day, guys. Do you have any questions? Anything you want to ask?
No, sir.
Yes? No? So shall we stop here for the day?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So see you people tomorrow at the same time. Meanwhile, thank you people. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay safe.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir. Same to you.
Thank you.